The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins is a groundbreaking work that challenges the existence of God and critically examines religious beliefs. Dawkins, a prominent evolutionary biologist and outspoken atheist, uses accessible language to explore the origami NTS for and against the existence of a deity, addressing various aspects of religion and its impact on society. Here's a comprehensive summary of the key themes and arguments presented in the book. In the introduction to the God Delusion, Richard Dawkins sets the stage for a rigorous examination of the existence of God. He begins by acknowledging the pervasive influence of religion on individuals and societies. Throughout history, Dawkins distinguishes two types of theists: those who believe in a personal God and those who adhere to a more abstract pantheistic concept. Dawkins positions himself as a deeply religious non-believer, expressing his awe and wonder at the natural world. He argues that a scientific understanding of the universe enhances, rather than diminishes, this sense of wonder. The introduction serves as a prelude to a scientific inquiry into the God hypothesis, framing the belief in God as a legitimate scientific question. Personal revelation. Dawkins shares personal anecdotes and experiences that evoke a sense of awe and wonder in him, emphasizing that these feelings are not exclusive to religious individuals. To scientific wonder. He introduces the idea that a scientific understanding of the universe, from the intricacies of DNA to the vastness of the cosmos, can evoke a profound sense of awe that rivals or exceeds religious experiences. The God hypothesis. Dawkins explores the concept of the God hypothesis, framing the belief in God as a scientific question. He uses examples from various religious traditions to illustrate the diversity of God concepts. Two types of theists. Dawkins distinguishes between theists who believe in a personal God with specific attributes and those who lean towards a more abstract or deistic notion of God. He provides examples to illustrate these distinctions. Dawkins explains the paradoxical nature of being a deeply religious non-believer, highlighting his appreciation for the profound beauty of the natural world without attributing it to a divine creator. By blending personal reflections with scientific inquiry, Dawkins lays the groundwork for a thought-provoking exploration of the arguments surrounding the existence of God. The introduction serves as an invitation for readers to join him on a journey of critical thinking and scientific scrutiny in the subsequent chapters of the book. Chapter 1. A deeply religious non-believer. In the first chapter of The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, titled A Deeply Religious Non-Believer, Dawkins presents a paradoxical perspective. He describes himself as a deeply religious non-believer to emphasize his profound appreciation for the wonders of the natural world and the universe. Here are key points and themes from the first chapter. 1. Profound awe and wonder. Dawkins expresses a deep sense of awe and wonder at the complexity and beauty of the natural world. He describes his feelings of reverence for the grandeur of the cosmos and the intricacies of life on Earth. 2. Religious language for natural experiences. Despite being an atheist, Dawkins adopts religious language to describe his experiences. He uses terms like religious, reverence, and worship to convey the intensity of his emotions when contemplating the natural world. 3. Scientific appreciation. Dawkins emphasizes that his reverence for nature is not based on a supernatural belief, but is grounded in a scientific understanding of the universe. He finds inspiration in the discoveries of science, such as evolution and cosmology. 4. sense of transcendence. The chapter explores the idea that one can experience a sense of transcendence and spiritual fulfillment without resorting to religious beliefs. Dawkins argues that the wonders of the cosmos and the beauty of nature are sufficient to elicit a deeply spiritual response. 5. Challenges to religious monopoly on awe. Dawkins challenges the notion that religious experiences have a monopoly on profound emotions and a sense of the sublime. He contends that a scientific understanding of the universe can evoke emotions that are just as powerful and meaningful. Examples from the book context. 1. Mount Improbable. Dawkins introduces the concept of Mount Improbable as a metaphor for the seemingly improbable evolution of complex biological structures. He uses this example to illustrate the awe-inspiring nature of natural processes. 2. DNA as poetry. Dawkins describes the elegance and poetry of the DNA molecule, emphasizing that its structure and functionality evoke a sense of wonder comparable to religious experiences. 3. Hubble Space Telescope images. He refers to images captured by the Hubble Space Telescope, showcasing the vastness and beauty of the cosmos. These images serve as examples of the breathtaking natural phenomena that inspire his sense of awe. 4. Secular spirituality. Dawkins introduces the idea of secular spirituality, suggesting that one can experience a deep and meaningful connection to the universe without invoking religious beliefs. He rejects the notion that religious language should exclusively define such experiences. In the first chapter, Dawkins lays the foundation for his exploration of the compatibility between science, reason, and a profound appreciation for the wonders of the natural world. He challenges the assumption that religious language is necessary to convey the depth of human experience and sets the stage for a critical examination of religious beliefs in the subsequent chapters. In the second chapter of The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, titled The God Hypothesis, Dawkins explores the concept of God as a scientific hypothesis. He critically examines the arguments and evidence put forth by those who advocate for the existence of a deity. Here are the key themes and points from the second chapter. 1. Defining the God hypothesis. Dawkins defines the God hypothesis as the belief in the existence of a superhuman, supernatural intelligence who intentionally designed and created the universe and everything in it. He treats this belief as a scientific proposition that can be examined and evaluated. 2. The scientific method. Dawkins emphasizes the importance of subjecting the God hypothesis to the same standards of scrutiny and evidence as any other scientific hypothesis. He argues that claims about the existence of God should not be exempt from rational examination. 3. Anthropomorphism and God. Dawkins discusses the tendency to attribute human-like qualities to God, including intelligence, intentional and consciousness. He argues that this anthropomorphism is a product of human psychology rather than evidence for God's existence. 4. Occam's razor. The principle of Occam's razor is introduced, advocating for the simplest explanation that fits the observed facts. Dawkins suggests that invoking a complex deity to explain the universe is less parsimonious than naturalistic explanations. 5. Complexity of God's attributes. Dawkins examines the complexity of the attributes ascribed to God, such as omniscience, omnipotence, and benevolence. He questions the coherence and consistency of these attributes, highlighting potential logical contradictions.
In Chapter 5 of The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, titled The Roots of Religion, Dawkins explores the evolutionary origins of religious belief. He delves into the hypothesis that certain cognitive predispositions, shaped by natural selection, may have predisposed humans to develop religious inclinations. Here are the key themes and points from the 5th chapter. #### Key themes. 1. Evolutionary explanations for religion *. Dawkins investigates the idea that religious beliefs may have provided evolutionary advantages to early human societies. He explores the hypothesis that a tendency to believe in unseen agents or supernatural forces could have contributed to group cohesion and cooperation. 2. Agency detection and hyperactive agency detection device, HADD. Dawkins discusses the human tendency to detect agency in the environment, a trait that may have evolved as a survival mechanism. He introduces the concept of the hyperactive agency detection device, HADD, suggesting that humans are predisposed to attribute agency to ambiguous stimuli. 3. Evolutionary advantages of religious belief *. Dawkins considers potential benefits of religious beliefs, such as fostering social cohesion, morality, and cooperation within a group. He explores how shared religious rituals and beliefs might have enhanced cooperation among early humans. 4. Memes and religious ideas *. Dawkins introduces the concept of memes, cultural units of information that spread from person to person. He suggests that religious ideas can be viewed as memes, replicating and spreading through human societies. 5. Religion as a byproduct of cognitive traits *. Dawkins proposes that religious beliefs might be a byproduct of cognitive traits that evolved for different purposes, such as social bonding and a predisposition to attribute intentionality to events in the environment. #### Examples from the book context. 1. Cognitive predispositions *. Dawkins explores how cognitive predispositions, like the tendency to see agency in the environment, may have influenced the development of religious beliefs. He provides examples of how early humans might have benefited from being cautious and attributing agency to potential threats. 2. Evolutionary advantages *. Examples from various cultures and historical periods are discussed to illustrate how shared religious beliefs may have provided evolutionary advantages by promoting cooperation and group cohesion. 3. Religious rituals and morality *. Dawkins considers religious rituals and moral codes as mechanisms that could enhance group cooperation. Examples of rituals and moral teachings from different religions are examined in this context. 4. Memes and religious spread *. The idea of memes is applied to religious beliefs, suggesting that certain religious ideas may have a viral quality, spreading through populations and evolving over time. By examining the evolutionary roots of religious belief, Dawkins offers a perspective that views religion as a product of cognitive traits shaped by natural selection. This chapter contributes to the broader exploration of how human psychology and social dynamics may have influenced the development and spread of religious ideas throughout history. ###. Chapter 6, The God of the Old Testament. Dawkins focuses on the God depicted in the Old Testament, critiquing the character of God as portrayed in religious texts. He points to moral inconsistencies and contradictions within the biblical narrative, questioning the morality of a deity who endorses violence and punishment. ###. Chapter 7, The Good Book and the Changing Moral Zeitgeist. Dawkins examines the morality presented in religious texts, emphasizing that moral values are not derived from religious sources but rather evolve over time. He argues that secular morality has progressed, leaving behind outdated and harmful moral teachings found in religious scriptures. ###. Chapter 8, What's Wrong with Religion? Why Be So Hostile? Dawkins addresses the charge of hostility often leveled against atheists. He argues that criticism of religious beliefs is not inherently hostile but rather a necessary part of intellectual discourse. He emphasizes the harm that can arise from uncritical acceptance of religious dogma. Chapter 9, Childhood, Abuse, and the Escape from Religion. Dawkins discusses the potential harm inflicted upon children through religious indoctrination, labeling it as a form of mental child abuse. He explores the difficulties faced by those who seek to break free from religious indoctrination and highlights the importance of nurturing curiosity and critical thinking in children. Chapter 10, A Much-Needed Gap. Dawkins explores the idea of whether there is a God-shaped hole in human psychology that needs filling. He suggests that the comfort and reassurance provided by religious beliefs can be replaced with fulfilling and meaningful secular alternatives. Chapter 11, Binker and Do They Know It's Christmas? Dawkins reflects on the power of imagination and fiction in shaping beliefs, using the example of a child's imaginary friend, Binker. He draws parallels between religious beliefs and the imaginative worlds created by children. Chapter 12, A Partial Eclipse of the Sun. Dawkins considers the role of religion in society and its impact on individuals. He argues that religion often stifles scientific inquiry, limits intellectual freedom, and contributes to societal divisions. He advocates for a secular society that values reason, evidence, and empathy. Chapter 13, A Deeply Religious Nonbeliever Revisited. Dawkins revisits the themes introduced in the introduction, summarizing his position as a deeply religious nonbeliever. He underscores the importance of awe, wonder, and a commitment to truth, reason, and the scientific method. Conclusion. The book concludes with a call for a more secular and rational world, free from the divisive influence of religious dogma. Dawkins encourages readers to embrace reason, evidence, and the pursuit of knowledge as the guiding principles for a fulfilling and ethical life. In The God Delusion, Richard Dawkins presents a comprehensive critique of religious beliefs, challenging readers to think critically about the foundations of their faith. Through accessible language and engaging arguments, Dawkins invites readers to reconsider the role of religion in their lives and in society, promoting a worldview grounded in reason, science, and secular humanism.